The first female artist to achieve 13 #1 albums in the UK.
I'm 32, so we're considered geriatric pop stars.
I'd rather just spend like those hours doing something else or like planning something fun for the fans.
No one expected this era. Not the fans, not the critics, not even the people closest to Taylor Swift. Because after Travis Kelce entered her world, something shifted, something deeper than a headline, bigger than a stadium moment. America watched a love story unfold, but behind the scenes, Taylor was living through a silent hurricane. For years, she carried the weight of being America's pop queen, but this time, she wanted something different. She wanted to rewrite her future, reclaim her peace, and protect a heart that had been broken more times than people would ever understand. This wasn't just a new chapter, it was a rebirth. A secret era built on resilience, fear, sacrifice, and unbelievable courage. And while the world obsessed over the perfect smiles and sideline kisses, Taylor was fighting to balance fame, love, and the shadows of her past that refused to stay buried. This is the era nobody saw coming.
She made history with her record-breaking Eras tour. She got her masters back.
Before we move on, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our upcoming documentaries. Before Travis, before the stadium appearances, before the viral moments that dominated American media, Taylor Swift was quietly battling a kind of loneliness that fame could never fix. She was surrounded by millions, yet completely isolated. Every move she made was analyzed, every relationship dissected, every word twisted into a headline. Behind closed doors, Taylor questioned whether true happiness was even possible for someone in her position. Nights were long, silent, and heavy, filled with doubts she never dared to share publicly. She kept writing, pouring her pain into melodies, hoping someone would understand the cracks beneath the glitter. But even her music couldn't shield her from the pressure, the expectations, the critics, the haunting fear of another heartbreak. And as the world demanded more from her, she wondered how much of herself she had left to give. It was during this vulnerable period that destiny prepared to introduce someone who would change everything in ways she never imagined.
She's a performer, a businesswoman, an icon.
Just when Taylor thought she had regained control of her narrative, the storm returned, louder and more aggressive than ever. Paparazzi swarmed her every step. Commentators questioned her personal life, her motives, her lyrics. Social media turned into a battlefield, with every tweet dissected by millions. America loved her, but it also demanded a level of perfection no human could maintain. And Taylor, exhausted from years of being the strong one, felt the pressure tightening around her like a vice. She had survived scandals, feuds, breakups, and betrayals, but this new wave hit differently. It reminded her that fame didn't forgive, it magnified. She tried to retreat, to disappear into her writing. But even then, the world's eyes hunted her. She needed an anchor, someone who saw her as a person, not a headline. Someone who could quiet the noise. And without warning, that someone was about to walk into her life wearing red and gold.
Oftentimes when I make a record, we then take all this time to plan out.
Enter Travis Kelce, the man who would unexpectedly shift Taylor's entire universe. He didn't chase her spotlight. He didn't crave her fame. He simply admired her from afar, like millions of Americans, but with a twist of boldness the world didn't expect. When he shared that failed bracelet moment on his podcast, it wasn't calculated. It was raw, genuine, and surprisingly vulnerable. Taylor noticed. America noticed. And for the first time in a long time, someone approached her without fear, without hesitation, without treating her like a global phenomenon. Travis saw Taylor, the human, the artist, the woman carrying silent battles. Their first conversations weren't glamorous. They were honest, deep grounding. And in those early moments, Taylor felt something she hadn't in years: safety. Yet with this new connection came challenges she didn't anticipate, because falling for one of America's biggest athletes meant stepping into a new kind of spotlight, one she wasn't ready for.
There's like a lag time between when I made it and when it enters the world.
From the moment Taylor and Travis stepped into each other's worlds, the pressure was instant. Not from each other, but from the loudest audience on earth, America. NFL cameras zoomed into her reactions. Commentators whispered her name during broadcasts. Social media exploded every time she appeared in a stadium box. What should have been private became a national event overnight. But despite the chaos, their bond deepened. Travis offered stability, and Taylor offered sincerity. He showed up for her not as a fan, not as a celebrity, but as a protector of her peace. Still, Taylor couldn't ignore the heavy truth. Every relationship she ever had was once praised before being torn apart. And as the noise grew louder, she wondered if this love would survive the spotlight's harshest glare. Even in her happiest moments, old fears resurfaced. Fears of loss, judgment, and heartbreak. But alongside Travis, she discovered something she had long forgotten: hope.
Oftentimes, your life can change drastically between this point and this other point.
As her fame soared to unimaginable heights, Taylor carried a burden no one could see. To millions, she was the unstoppable pop icon. But behind the scenes, she was fighting exhaustion, insecurity, and the pressure to constantly evolve. Every album had to top the last. Every tour had to break records. Every step she took was watched, judged, and immortalized online. And even though she loved her fans, she often felt like she didn't own her life anymore. The weight of perfection grew heavier with each passing year. And when she entered a relationship with one of the NFL's biggest stars, that pressure doubled. Suddenly, she wasn't just representing the music industry. She was representing a cultural phenomenon. And while Travis reassured her, cheered for her, and lifted her spirits, Taylor still felt the invisible chains of expectation. She longed for a moment of normalcy, a moment to breathe, a moment to simply be Taylor.
Untortured Poets Department, by the time that album came out, I was in a completely different point in my life.
Even in her most successful eras, Taylor couldn't escape the shadows of her past. Old controversies resurfaced. Former feuds were resurrected by people who refused to let her grow. Haters questioned her every move. Critics doubted her intentions. She remembered the dark era when she disappeared from the public eye after being dragged, mocked, and ridiculed. That pain didn't vanish. It lived within her, quiet but sharp. Whenever she felt vulnerable, those memories clawed back. And now, as she stood beside Travis, a new fear emerged. What if history repeated itself? Taylor worried the world would weaponize her relationship, twist it, and use it to hurt her again. But Travis wasn't like the men who came before. He stood firm, unshaken, ready to defend her against any storm. Yet even with him by her side, the ghosts of her past whispered reminders of how quickly everything could fall apart.
It's an interesting feeling sometimes putting albums out into the world.
While the world painted Travis as confident, charismatic, and unbreakable, he carried his own struggles. The pressure of NFL superstardom, the fear of injuries, the responsibility of leading a dynasty, the loneliness that came with being expected to be the tough guy every single day. And when Taylor entered his life, that pressure multiplied. He wasn't just playing for Kansas City anymore. He was playing under the eyes of Swift Nation. Every missed catch became an internet meme. Every loss became a storyline. Travis felt the weight of representing both worlds. And while he loved Taylor deeply, he silently wondered if he could protect her from the intensity of his own career. Yet in their quiet conversations, Taylor learned something powerful. He understood her pain. He carried doubts too. And together, they found comfort in knowing they weren't alone in their battles, even when the world demanded perfection from them both.
I still am in my life. You know, the music matches the moment that I'm in.
The media storm that followed them was unlike anything either had faced. News outlets refreshed headlines hourly. TMZ tracked their restaurant visits. Sports networks analyzed her presence at games more than the plays on the field. It wasn't just attention, it was obsession. And America couldn't look away. For Taylor, this felt like deja vu. For Travis, it was a shock. They couldn't go on dates without cameras. They couldn't have private moments without speculation. Even their families were pulled into the spotlight. Taylor feared that the pressure would push Travis away, just like it had with others. Travis feared that the chaos would exhaust Taylor, weakening the safe space they were building. Yet despite the frenzy, they held on, determined not to let the world steal something precious from them.
When you're on tour for 2 years and every night is a 3.5-hour show.
Even at the peak of her success, Taylor struggled with doubts that gnawed at her quietly. Was she too much for someone to love? Was her fame a curse? Would another heartbreak destroy her? She replayed moments from past relationships, moments where partners crumbled under the pressure of fame, moments where she felt blamed for things she couldn't control. And now, with Travis, she worried those patterns would return. The louder the world talked, the quieter she became. She questioned whether she deserved a stable love story, or whether her life was destined to be a cycle of highs and heartbreaks. But Travis didn't flinch. He reassured her, reminded her of her worth, and showed up when she needed grounding. Slowly, Taylor realized something powerful. Maybe this era was not about proving herself to the world, but learning to trust someone who saw her heart clearly, without fear or agenda.
When it came to anything in her personal life, she was like, just don't threaten my show.
Amidst the chaos, Taylor and Travis carved out moments that belonged only to them. Late-night walks, whispered conversations, shared playlists, and laughter in empty stadiums. These were the moments that grounded them, the moments that reminded them who they were beneath the fame. Taylor could finally relax, without the glare of millions watching, without fear of judgment. Travis learned the depth of her vulnerability, the beauty of her quiet moments, and the resilience she carried beneath the sequins and spotlights. These private interactions became their sanctuary, a world the media could never reach. Yet the threat of exposure loomed constantly. Every smile captured by a hidden camera, every dinner outing analyzed online. And Taylor, who had learned to armor herself against the world, found herself letting Travis in any way, risking her heart. This secret era wasn't built on fame. It was built on trust, love, and a mutual understanding that what they had was bigger than the world's obsession.
Every one of those people has to be at the top of their game.
Despite their growing closeness, fear always lingered. Taylor had lived through the harshest judgments imaginable. Relationships turned into scandals, actions twisted into headlines. She knew that no matter how genuine her love for Travis was, the public would have opinions, criticisms, and theories. Every red carpet appearance, every Instagram post, every game day photo could spark debates online. And yet, Taylor refused to let this fear dictate her life. She decided to live authentically, to embrace the connection that felt real. Travis, on the other hand, was learning quickly that being linked with Taylor meant enduring a level of public scrutiny few athletes ever faced. Together, they navigated the uncharted waters of fame, intersecting with private love. Each day was a test of patience, resilience, and courage. But their growing bond gave them a sense of invincibility. As long as they had each other, they could weather any storm the world threw their way.
I didn't really have as many hobbies when I spent a lot of time scrolling.
Fame is intoxicating, but it comes with hidden costs. For Taylor, every award, every record-breaking album, every sold-out stadium carried an emotional weight. She had to smile, perform, and be the hero while juggling exhaustion, insecurity, and heartbreak. Travis faced his own pressure, perform on Sundays, maintain peak physical condition, and handle media scrutiny, all while supporting Taylor. The emotional toll wasn't just fatigue. It was the constant battle to maintain a sense of normalcy in lives constantly on display. Taylor often found herself lying awake, reflecting on her past mistakes, wondering if she could ever truly find peace. But the presence of Travis offered stability, a rare sense of grounding. Slowly, their love became a protective force, a refuge from relentless scrutiny. And while the world watched their every move, they learned to find joy in quiet victories, small moments, and the reassurance that even amidst fame, love could thrive.
You're not in that situation when you don't know, you know.
Throughout this secret era, Taylor's music became more personal than ever. Songs weren't just hits, they were windows into her heart. Lyrics reflected her fears, her love, her triumphs, and her struggles. Fans noticed the vulnerability, the raw honesty, and the emotion that poured through every note. Each song hinted at Travis without ever revealing specifics, a careful dance between transparency and privacy. Music became her therapy, her safe space, and a bridge to connect with the world on her terms. And yet, it also carried risk. Overexposure could invite judgment, speculation, and criticism. Taylor understood that honesty in her art meant vulnerability in life. But the risk was worth it. Every lyric was a testament to growth, resilience, and the unexpected love that had entered her life. Through her songs, she told a story that wasn't just about romance, but about surviving the past, embracing the present, and daring to dream about a future that felt impossible before.
The Fate of Ophelia talks about how, Ophelia was driven mad by love.
Their first public appearances together were seismic moments for both fans and the media. Every stadium sighting, every paparazzi photo became instant news. Taylor, who had guarded her privacy for years, felt nervous under the relentless gaze. Travis, accustomed to attention on the field, felt an unfamiliar weight as her partner. They approached these moments carefully, balancing authenticity with caution. Every smile, every handshake, every wave was dissected. Yet beneath the spotlight, moments of genuine affection and humor shone through. Private gestures that revealed their bond. Their love was no longer just private whispers. It was shared, celebrated, and scrutinized. But even in this heightened visibility, they held on to what mattered most: each other. Every challenge strengthened their connection, proving that love in the public eye could survive scrutiny, rumors, and speculation, as long as both parties remained grounded, honest, and unwavering in their commitment.
You dug me out of my grave and saved my heart from the fate of Ophelia.
No celebrity era is complete without rumors. And this one was relentless. Every headline, every tweet, every TikTok speculation added weight to their already intense world. Taylor, who had endured decades of misrepresentation, approached rumors with cautious resilience. Travis, though new to this level of fame, quickly learned the importance of trust over public opinion. Together, they built a silent pact: ignore the noise, protect each other, and focus on what they knew was true. The rumors became a test of their emotional endurance, a measure of the strength of their bond. And as whispers turned into stories, they leaned on private moments for reassurance. Love, they realized, wasn't about perfection in the eyes of millions. It was about truth, loyalty, and understanding in the eyes of the one who truly mattered.
I'm always reaching for my phone and recording things.
Despite the chaos surrounding them, both Taylor and Travis experienced immense personal growth during this era. Taylor confronted old insecurities, forgave past mistakes, and learned to embrace vulnerability without fear. Travis refined his emotional intelligence, learning patience, empathy, and how to balance public demand with private love. Together, they grew stronger, individually and as a couple. Every challenge became a lesson. Every public scrutiny, a test. Every private victory, a reminder of resilience. And through it all, they discovered that love was not just about passion or romance. It was about understanding, compromise, and enduring the unrelenting pressures of life under the spotlight.
Do you know Mastermind is going to be the 13th track?
Yeah.
Wow.
America didn't just watch, it became obsessed. Fans dissected every Instagram comment, every song lyric, every stadium moment. Social media exploded with theories, memes, and fervent support. Taylor Swift had always commanded attention, but this era reached new heights. The cultural impact was undeniable, a combination of love, music, sports, and media frenzy that few could predict. Taylor and Travis became a symbol, a story people discussed at lunch tables, in office meetings, and online. Yet beneath the fanfare, they focused on authenticity, grounding themselves in the reality of their love rather than the spectacle it created. Their story wasn't just entertainment. It was a testament to resilience, trust, and navigating unprecedented public attention while maintaining a deeply personal connection.
I think we've just stopped pretending it's accidental at this point.
While headlines celebrated their love, the real struggles remained unseen. Taylor faced emotional fatigue, creative pressures, and the ongoing challenge of protecting her privacy. Travis confronted media expectations, performance pressure, and the delicate balance of supporting a superstar partner. The public rarely understood the magnitude of what they endured daily, the constant mental toll, the private doubts, and the sacrifices required to maintain normalcy. Yet these hidden struggles forged an unbreakable bond, a silent understanding between two people navigating extraordinary lives. Their love story was not just romantic. It was a survival story, a testament to enduring fame, pressure, and emotional complexity while holding on to authenticity, connection, and hope.
You would absolutely love him. He's a blast. He's just the most fun person. Life of any party.
This era, hidden from full view, will be remembered as one of Taylor Swift's most transformative periods. It was not defined by chart-topping songs, stadiums, or awards, but by resilience, vulnerability, and a love that defied the harshest spotlight. Travis Kelce became more than a partner. He became a symbol of trust, stability, and authenticity in a world obsessed with spectacle. Taylor emerged stronger, more self-aware, and ready to embrace the future on her terms. The Secret Era was a story of courage, growth, and the power of human connection. America witnessed the highlights, but the true story lies in the private moments, the emotional battles, and the unwavering love that carried them both through one of the most intense periods of their lives. This era will forever stand as a testament to what can happen when two extraordinary people navigate fame, love, and personal transformation together.
Like, they tease me a lot, and I enjoy it.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss any of our upcoming documentaries.